The lights flicker once, then vanish. Your phone? A lifeless brick. The internet? Gone. The hum of modern life silenced in an instant. No warning, no countdown, just one moment of normalcy, and the next, a plunge into chaos. Welcome to the nightmare scenario every prepper fears and most people ignore. The question is, when the grid collapses, will you be the one scrambling in the dark, or the one who's already prepared to survive? This isn't some dystopian movie plot, it's reality. Blackouts have already crippled major cities: Texas, California, Pakistan, South Africa, even New York. And those were just the warm-ups. A true grid failure could last not hours, but days, weeks, or even months. Imagine no heat in the dead of winter, no running water, no food deliveries, no emergency services. Society as we know it? Gone in the blink of an eye. When that moment comes, and it will come, only a few critical items will stand between you and disaster. Today we're breaking down the 10 essential things that could mean the difference between survival and suffering. So grab a pen, or better yet, start taking inventory. Because when the lights go out for good, the unprepared won't get a second chance. 1. The power of light and the shadows it casts. Imagine this. The power cuts out, and in an instant the world around you is swallowed by darkness. Not the kind of darkness where your eyes adjust and you can make out shapes, but a suffocating pitch-black void. No streetlights, no glowing screens, no faint hum of electricity, just silence and shadows. In that moment, panic takes root. People stumble, injuries happen, and fear spreads like wildfire. The first thing you'll need to survive this chaos is light. Reliable, instant light. A crank-powered flashlight might not seem like much, but when your batteries are dead and your solar charger is useless under stormy skies, it becomes your lifeline. No electricity, no problem. Just crank the handle, and you've got light. It's simple, it's dependable, and it's something you'll thank yourself for having. But don't stop there. LED lanterns are another must-have. Look for ones that can run for hundreds of hours on low settings. Place them strategically, under your bed, near the front door, or in your emergency kit, so you can grab them even in total darkness. But here's the catch. Light is a double-edged sword. While it helps you navigate and stay sane, it also makes you a target. In a prolonged blackout, your glowing windows are like a beacon, screaming to the world, "I'm prepared!" Desperate neighbors or opportunistic strangers might come knocking, or worse. That's why blackout curtains or heavy drapes are non-negotiable. They don't just keep your light in, they keep prying eyes out. The longer the grid is down, the more desperate people become. And the last thing you want is to advertise your preparedness. Backup options are crucial. Rechargeable headlamps free up your hands for tasks like cooking or cleaning. Glow sticks can light up hallways without drawing too much attention. Even a stash of tea lights can make a difference when all else fails. The key is redundancy. Never rely on just one source of light. Light isn't just about seeing, it's about control. It allows you to clean, cook, and maintain some semblance of normalcy. Without it, you're just another shadow in the dark, vulnerable and unprepared. In a blackout, light is power, both literally and figuratively. But remember, it's not just about what you can see, it's about what others can't. 2. Water, the lifeblood of survival. When the power goes out, the first thing most people think about is light. But the real crisis begins when the water stops flowing. One failed pump station, and suddenly your faucet is spitting air instead of water. It's not just about quenching your thirst. It's about hygiene, cooking, and even your sanity. Without water, society crumbles faster than you can imagine. The first rule of water survival is storage. At a bare minimum, you need 1 gallon per person per day. And ideally, you should have enough for at least 2 weeks. That's 14 gallons per person. It sounds like a lot, but when the taps run dry, you'll be grateful for every drop. Use stackable containers to maximize space. Stash them in closets, under beds, or anywhere else you can find room. And don't forget to rotate your stockpile regularly to keep it fresh. Timing is everything. When the power flickers or dies, you have a narrow window to act before everyone else realizes what's happening. Fill every bottle, pot, and tub you have. Emergency bathtub liners like water bobs can hold up to 100 gallons of drinkable water. It's a last-minute lifesaver if you act fast. But stored water won't last forever, especially in a prolonged blackout. That's where purification comes in. Gravity-fed filters like Berkey or Sawyer systems can turn questionable water sources, rainwater, melted ice, even puddles, into safe drinking water. Iodine tablets and bleach are your emergency backups. Just 1 capful of bleach in a 5-gallon bucket can kill most pathogens. It's not glamorous, but it works. Don't overlook water collection. If you have a balcony or a flat roof, a tarp and some bungee cords can become a makeshift rainwater catchment system. It's not a primary solution, but it can help replenish your supply when the crisis drags on. Water is more than a necessity, it's a lifeline. Without it, you've got 3 days max. With it, you buy time, health, and options. In a blackout, water isn't just survival, it's control. And in a world spiraling into chaos, control is everything. 3. Silent sustenance, the art of eating without a trace. When the grid collapses, food becomes more than just fuel. It becomes a strategy. It's not just about what you eat, but how you eat it. In a blackout, every bite you take could make you a target. The smell of warm food wafting through the air is like a dinner bell for desperate neighbors and prowling strangers. That's why your food plan needs to be silent, simple, and stealthy. Start with no-cook options. Protein bars, nut butters, trail mix, and canned goods are your best friends. These are the foods you can eat straight out of the package. No heating or preparation required. They're not glamorous, but they're lifesavers. And don't forget to stock up on high-calorie options. In a survival situation, every calorie counts. When the blackout hits, your fridge becomes a ticking time bomb. The cold stuff is a liability, not an asset. Use it first. Cook or consume perishables like milk, meat, and fresh produce before they spoil. It's not just about avoiding waste. It's about preventing a sanitation nightmare. Spoiled food isn't just useless, it's dangerous. Gear is just as important as the food itself. A manual can opener is a must-have. You'd be surprised how many people stock up on canned goods only to realize they can't open them. Disposable plates and utensils are another essential. They save your precious water supply by eliminating the need for washing dishes. Now let's talk stealth. Food smells travel fast, especially in a blackout. Stick to low-odor options like instant oats, rice, or shelf-stable stews. Avoid frying or cooking anything aromatic. The less your home smells like food, the less likely you are to attract unwanted attention. Eating quietly isn't just about paranoia, it's about survival. In a prolonged blackout, desperation grows with each passing day. The less you advertise your resources, the safer you'll be. Food is life, but in a blackout, it's also a liability. Plan wisely, eat stealthily, and stay one step ahead of the chaos. 4. Survival cooking, the art of safe heat. Picture this. It's week 2 of a blackout. Your stash of protein bars is long gone, and you're down to canned beans and freeze-dried meals. Worse yet, you need to boil water, whether it's for drinking, rehydrating food, or sterilizing medical supplies. But here's the catch. You're in a small, sealed apartment, maybe on the 10th floor, and the idea of an open flame is a recipe for disaster. This is where your off-grid cooking setup becomes more than a convenience. It's your lifeline. The first rule of blackout cooking is safety. Forget about lighting a bonfire in your living room or grilling on your balcony. You need something compact, efficient, and most importantly, safe. Enter the butane stove or portable alcohol burner. These small portable stoves are your blackout kitchen. They ignite quickly, burn hot, and take up almost no space. With proper ventilation, like a cracked window or an open sliding door, they can handle everything from boiling water to heating canned goods. They're simple, effective, and a must-have for any serious prepper. But what if ventilation isn't an option? Maybe you're in a windowless room or a poorly ventilated building. That's when sterno cans come into play. These gel fuel containers are silent, smokeless, and incredibly low profile. They won't cook a gourmet meal, but they'll warm soup, boil a small pot of water, or rehydrate freeze-dried food without turning your apartment into a fire hazard. And in a blackout where stealth is key, their low heat signature keeps you under the radar. No smoke, no smell, no attention. Now let's talk about the one thing most people overlook: fire safety. A kitchen-rated fire extinguisher should be within arm's reach of your cooking setup. Not stashed in a closet, not buried under a pile of supplies, right there, ready to grab. Because in a blackout, one small cooking accident doesn't just mean a ruined meal. It could mean evacuating your entire building in the middle of a crisis. And if you don't have an extinguisher, invest in a fire blanket. These compact lifesavers can smother flames instantly, with no mess and no panic. Cooking during a blackout isn't about fancy recipes or gourmet meals. It's about survival. Heat the water, warm the food, and keep it quiet. With the right off-grid setup, one that's safe, efficient, and discreet, you won't just eat, you'll endure. And in a world where the grid is down and chaos reigns, endurance is everything. 5. Power reserves, the lifeline of the gridless. When the grid goes down, everything you rely on, your phone, your flashlight, your radio, suddenly starts running on borrowed time. Every device becomes a ticking clock, counting down to silence and darkness. And unless you've prepared a layered power reserve, you're on a one-way trip to being cut off from the world. In a blackout, power isn't just a convenience, it's survival. The first step is building your power reserves. Start with power banks, plural. Not one, not two, but several. These portable chargers are your bridge between losing the grid and keeping your essentials alive. Invest in high-capacity banks with multiple USB ports. These allow you to charge your phone, flashlight, and even a small fan simultaneously. Label them, rotate them, and charge them monthly. The last thing you want is to reach for a power bank in an emergency and find it dead. But don't stop there. Upgrade your gear to USB rechargeable batteries. These are game changers for headlamps, lanterns, and radios. They last longer, charge faster, and eliminate the need for disposable batteries. It's an upfront investment, but one that pays off the moment the lights go out. Now let's talk about solar power. No, not rooftop panels. I'm talking about compact, portable solar chargers designed for apartment prepping. These small panels fit on a windowsill and trickle charge your devices over time. Will it be fast? No doubt. But even a 10% charge can mean another phone call, another update, or another few hours of light. And in a blackout, that's priceless. Finally, there's the unsung hero of power generation, the crank radio. These devices are nearly indestructible, generate energy manually, and often come with built-in USB ports. Cranking one might be tiring, but it works. And in a true grid-down scenario, knowing you can create power with your own hands gives you a psychological edge, and a tactical one. Power equals communication. It equals light, safety, and morale. You don't need to be high-tech. You just need to be ready. Stack your reserves, rotate your charges, and remember, in a blackout, power isn't just survival. It's leverage. 6. Fortress mode, turning your home into a stronghold. When a massive blackout stretches from hours into days, the rules of society begin to unravel. People panic, desperation grows, and your home isn't just where you live anymore, it's your stronghold. Your job? Make it look like the worst possible place to mess with. Fortification isn't paranoia, it's survival. Start with your front door. It's your main point of vulnerability and your first line of defense. Door jammers or security bars are cheap, effective, and require no structural changes. They wedge under the handle or anchor to the floor, making it nearly impossible to force open from the outside. It's a simple mechanical barricade that works whether the power is on or off. Next, upgrade your door hardware. Most apartment doors are held together with tiny half-inch screws that barely dig into the frame. Replace them with 3-inch screws that anchor into the studs behind the frame. This small change turns your door from a weak point into a solid barrier. You won't see the difference, but you'll feel it when pressure hits. Now let's talk about light discipline. In a blackout, one glowing window in a pitch-black building is like a neon sign that says, "We've got power, food, and safety." Don't just close the blinds. Invest in blackout curtains or hang thick blankets over your windows. Seal the edges with duct tape or clips to ensure zero light escapes. The goal is to make your home invisible. Barricading comes next. In higher threat scenarios, heavy furniture becomes part of your defense system. A couch, a mattress, or a bookshelf can be repositioned to block doors or reinforce entry points. If your apartment has a hallway, use it as a natural choke point. Stack furniture strategically so anyone trying to push through is met with a wall of resistance. Finally, stay quiet. No loud conversations in the hallway. No broadcasting your plans to neighbors. The less attention you draw, the safer you'll be. In a blackout, people don't look for a fight. They look for easy targets. Make sure you don't look like one. Fortifying your home isn't about fear. It's about control. It's about sending a clear message. This is not the place to mess with. And in a world where the grid is down and chaos is rising, that message could be the difference between safety and disaster. 7. Grid down hygiene, the fight against filth. Here's a grim reality most people don't consider until it's too late. When the grid fails, plumbing is often the next to go. Apartment buildings rely on electric pumps to keep water flowing and toilets flushing. Once those pumps stop, you're left with sinks that won't drain and toilets that become unusable. And when sanitation breaks down, things can spiral into chaos faster than you think. Disease doesn't wait for you to figure it out. It thrives in filth. That's why having an emergency hygiene and sanitation plan isn't just smart, it's survival. The cornerstone of your sanitation setup? A 5-gallon bucket toilet. It's not glamorous, but it's a lifesaver. Pair it with a snap-on toilet seat and heavy-duty double-lined trash bags. After each use, sprinkle in a scoop of kitty litter, sawdust, or shredded newspaper. This absorbs moisture, controls odor, and buys you time before you need to swap out the liner. It's not about comfort, it's about containment. And containment is everything when you're living in close quarters during a blackout. Designate a specific dirty zone in your home. This is where you'll keep your bucket toilet, used trash bags, and any other waste materials. If you have a second bathroom or an unused bathtub, that's the perfect spot. The goal is to isolate waste from your living, eating, and sleeping areas. Cross-contamination is your enemy, and a poorly managed waste zone can turn your safe haven into a biohazard. But using an emergency toilet is only half the battle. Cleaning up afterward is just as critical. Stock up on hand sanitizer, bleach spray, and disposable gloves. Keep a large bottle of sanitizer near your waste zone and use it religiously. Disinfect surfaces after every use, no exceptions. A single lapse in hygiene can lead to infections that knock you out of commission, or worse. Wipes are your new best friend. Baby wipes, antibacterial hand wipes, and surface cleaning wipes should be stocked in bulk. Without running water, they'll handle everything from personal hygiene to cleaning dishes and doorknobs. And don't underestimate the importance of trash bags. Heavy-duty contractor bags are worth their weight in gold. Use them for toilet liners, garbage disposal, and even isolating soiled clothing or biohazard materials if someone gets sick. In a prolonged blackout, disease spreads silently and quickly. One poorly sealed bag, one forgotten cleanup, and suddenly you're dealing with a health crisis on top of everything else. Your sanitation plan needs to be airtight. Treat hygiene as seriously as you treat food and water, because in a grid-down world, staying clean isn't just about comfort, it's about survival. 8. Temperature survival, beating the heat and the cold. You can have all the food, water, and supplies in the world, but if your home becomes an icebox in winter or an oven in summer, none of it will matter. When the grid goes down, your HVAC system dies with it. No heat, no air conditioning, no climate control. And whether you're battling frostbite or heat stroke, the stakes are life and death. To survive, you need to turn your home into a temperature-controlled survival capsule. Let's start with winter. When the power goes out and temperatures drop, your apartment won't stay warm for long. Concrete walls and large windows bleed heat, turning your space into a freezer. The solution? Create a heat zone. Choose the smallest room in your home, a bedroom, a closet, or even a bathroom, and seal it off. Use duct tape and plastic sheeting to cover doorways. Hang thick blankets or blackout curtains over windows to trap heat. For maximum efficiency, line the walls with reflective mylar blankets. These inexpensive lifesavers bounce your body heat back into the room, keeping it warmer for longer. But here's the real game changer. A tent. Set up a small camping tent inside your heat zone. Crawl inside with your sleeping bag, blankets, and maybe even a pet. It might sound ridiculous, but the confined space traps heat far better than an entire room. Add in hand warmers, thermal socks, and layered clothing, and you've got a survival setup that can keep you alive through freezing nights. Now let's talk about summer. When the grid fails during a heat wave, your apartment can quickly turn into a greenhouse. Without air conditioning, temperatures inside can soar to dangerous levels. The key to survival is airflow. Invest in USB-powered fans and pair them with solar panels or rechargeable power banks. These fans won't cool an entire room, but they can make a significant difference in keeping you comfortable. Block out the sun by hanging light-colored sheets or reflective materials over your windows. Blackout curtains can also help, but they trap heat if not used carefully. For a DIY cooling system, wet a towel and drape it in front of your fan. The evaporative cooling effect can lower the temperature in your immediate area. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. Ventilation is critical. Open a high window during the coolest part of the day to let in fresh air, then seal everything up before the heat returns. And don't forget hydration. Dehydration can sneak up on you in extreme heat, so drink more water than you think you need. If you're sweating, you're losing electrolytes, so consider adding a pinch of salt or an electrolyte tablet to your water. Surviving a blackout isn't just about keeping the lights on. It's about keeping your body within a livable temperature range. Whether you're fighting off the cold or battling the heat, preparation is your best defense. Because once your environment turns hostile, all the prepping in the world won't save you, unless you've planned to control your own microclimate. 9. The information lifeline. Staying connected in the dark. When the grid collapses, it's not just the lights that go out, it's your connection to the world. No internet, no news updates, no weather alerts. You're not just in the dark, you're blind. And in a blackout, information isn't just helpful, it's survival. Knowing what's happening around you, where danger is brewing, and how long you have to act can mean the difference between life and death. So, how do you stay informed when the world goes silent? You build your own comms and intel system. Start with a crank-powered NOAA radio. This isn't just a gadget. It's your direct line to emergency broadcasts, weather updates, and evacuation notices. The beauty of a crank radio is its simplicity. No batteries, no solar panels, just a few turns of the handle, and you're back in the loop. Look for a model with shortwave capabilities. Shortwave opens up a whole new world of communication, letting you pick up long-range signals and civilian chatter from areas far beyond your immediate surroundings. In a prolonged blackout, this kind of intel can be a game changer. But don't stop at the radio. Your smartphone, even without service, can still be a powerful tool, if you prepare it in advance. Download Bluetooth mesh apps like Bridgefy or Briar. These apps allow you to send messages directly between devices without relying on cell towers or Wi-Fi. They create a peer-to-peer communication network, perfect for densely populated areas like apartment buildings. If your neighbors have the same app, you've just built a local comms grid. No internet required. Now go analog. Print out your emergency contacts, real names, phone numbers, and addresses. Don't rely on your phone's digital contact list, which could become inaccessible if your battery dies or your device malfunctions. While you're at it, download offline maps of your city and surrounding areas. Apps like Maps, Me or Gaia GPS let you navigate without a signal. Mark key locations like hospitals, fire stations, and water refill points. These could become critical in a prolonged crisis. Finally, keep a notebook. This isn't just for jotting down random thoughts, it's for logging vital information. Write down what you hear on the radio, track unusual noises in your building, and note any changes in behavior or patterns around you. Over time, this log becomes a map of your environment, helping you anticipate threats and make informed decisions. In a blackout, information is power. It's your edge, your warning system, your guide. Without it, you're flying blind in a world that's growing more dangerous by the hour. So don't wait until the lights go out. Build your comms and intel system now, and make sure you're never the last to know. 10. Mental fortitude, the ultimate survival tool. When people talk about survival, they focus on food, water, and gear. But there's one element that's often overlooked, and it's the one that determines who makes it and who doesn't. Your mind. In a blackout, the silence is deafening. The routine is gone, and the creeping realization that help might not come. That's what breaks people. It's not hunger or thirst that gets them. It's despair. That's why your mental survival kit is just as important as your physical one. Start with books. Real physical books. Fiction, how-to guides, even comics. Anything that gives your mind a place to go when the screens are dead. Books provide structure, distraction, and a sense of normalcy. They're a lifeline for your brain when the world outside feels like it's falling apart. Add in some low-tech entertainment. A deck of cards, a puzzle, or a board game can do wonders for your mental state. These aren't just distractions. They're tools for building routine and reducing stress. If you're with others, create a shared rhythm. Rotate tasks, assign watch shifts, and block out quiet time. Humans thrive on structure, and without it, the days blur together and anxiety takes over. If you're riding out the blackout alone, journaling can be a powerful anchor. Write down what you're feeling, what you're seeing, and what your plan is. In the chaos of a prolonged crisis, putting pen to paper gives you a sense of control. It's a small act, but it can make a big difference. Music is another underrated tool. A small instrument like a harmonica or a ukulele can shift the energy in your space like nothing else. It's not just about entertainment, it's about morale. And don't forget about your pets. Their routines matter too. Feeding them, playing with them, and caring for them can provide a sense of purpose and normalcy. Then there's the concept of morale barter. This isn't just about trading goods, it's about hope. A tea bag, a piece of chocolate, a lighter, or a few aspirin can be more than just items. They're conversation starters, peace offerings, and reminders that humanity still exists. Keep a small stash of these items set aside. You'd be amazed at how far a single cup of tea can go in lifting spirits during a tense moment. The truth is, people don't just die from disaster, they die from despair, from panic, from bad decisions made in fear. Your mental game is your final line of defense. It's what keeps you calm, focused, and ready to adapt. So while you're prepping your body with food and water, don't forget to prep your mind. Because when the grid goes down and the lights stay off, your mental resilience is what will keep you alive. When the grid collapses, it's not just the power that disappears, it's the fragile illusion of control we've all grown used to. The hum of electricity, the glow of screens, the convenience of running water and instant communication, all gone in an instant. What's left is a world where survival depends on preparation, adaptability, and grit. The question isn't if a massive blackout will happen, it's when. And when it does, will you be the one scrambling in the dark or the one who's ready to face the chaos head-on? The 10 things we've covered aren't just tips, they're lifelines. From securing light and water to fortifying your home, managing hygiene, and keeping your mind sharp, each step is a piece of the survival puzzle. Together, they form a plan that can carry you through the darkest days, when the world feels like it's unraveling. But here's the truth. Survival isn't just about having the right gear. It's about having the right mindset. It's about staying calm, thinking ahead, and refusing to give in to fear. A blackout doesn't have to mean the end of the world. With the right preparation, it can be a challenge you're ready to meet. So start now, build your kit, make your plan, and train your mind. Because when the lights go out and the world goes quiet, the ones who survive won't be the ones who panic. They'll be the ones who prepared. The grid may fail, but you don't have to. Stay ready, stay sharp, and remember, survival isn't just about making it through the storm. It's about coming out stronger on the other